We haven't met that I forget now I don't need introducing. You feel the hate 'cause every step I take the earth is shaking. With devastation in my way 'cause it's on my
specifically, we're going to be going over these versions of Homelander in this video since we're using composite Homelander. Yes, I'm not using Call of Duty Homelander because his scaling gets confusing and he really doesn't have any that important stuff to list here. But yeah, we're going to be starting off with TV show Homelander. Now, I'm only going to be going over the actual good feats he has within the show and with statements as well. Starting off with his best on-screen feat, he was able to tank a chemical plant explosion to the face, which was calculated to around small town to town level at a high ball. This should be consistent with him scaling off the Nubian storm feat, which would be around large town level too. Now, his best statement in mind would be able to destroy New York in a matter of minutes. With this was calculated to around large mountain to around island level at a high ball. You feel the threat 'cause every step is like a mountain. And this is going off of the 2-minute to 59-minute standpoint of how long it would take him to destroy it. Because if it was anything higher than that, then it would just say hours or days, or it would just be stated him to destroy New York City. Nothing else to no more context to substantiate on that. Now, in terms of speed, he should definitely scale above the likes of Stormfront, who was able to fly to Rochester to New York in the span of about 2 minutes, I think, which was calculated to around high hypersonic plus. Or being able to escape a C4 explosion, which was calculated to around high hypersonic. Now, if you want to argue this even further, you can argue that the explosion was in a millionth of a second, which would be faster than, high hypersonic since it's a millionth of a second. You feel the nature's every step I take the earth is surging. And with the distance in mind, Homelander should be around this amount of speed, which is way faster than the high hypersonic shit I just made. His best speed feat in particular would be being able to speed with Soldier Boy, who can react to Starlight's light speed attack. So yeah, I really don't think there's anything else for me to mention about Homelander's attack potency and speed, or I could just bring up lifting strength, but even then that's class G at most. But yeah, that's all I have for Homelander's best attack potency, speed, and lifting strength feats. So we can just move on to comic Homelander now. Now, one thing I have to address with the people is that people think that Homelander is below a nuke in the comics. But if you actually read the comics and know the context to said statement, it was in context for him being 18 years old or younger when the time he was strapped to a hydrogen bomb. After that, Black Noir took its place after those 18 years. And one more question. Why would they replace a hydrogen bomb with Black Noir if they knew the hydrogen bomb would be enough for them? That would just be kind of redundant. So based on this evidence, he basically surpassed the hydrogen bomb after that. So let's go on to his actual feats. Without a doubt, he should scale above Stormfront, who could create tidal waves and hurricanes, which would destroy most of Africa. And via this statement, he should scale above him by 7 times, along with the rest of the payback. Narratively, bunkers are able to protect people from natural disasters like Stormfronts, and reuses the Sahara Desert for a part of Africa just to face value. This would be calculated to around the small planetary ranges. Which is a giant leap from the TV show and where most people scale him in terms of numbers. And this isn't even his best feat in the comics overall. No, his best feat overall in the comics is to be able to scale upwards to Tech Knight, who was able to stop a meteorite the size of Texas, which was calculated to around planetary level. I wonder who else did this in the past. Anyways, we're going to be going on to Homelander's speed right now from the comics. Now, in the comics, he should definitely be above people like the boys, for example, Kimiko, who is able to dodge lightning from Stormfront, which would be around this range. This would make Homelander about sub-relativistic, or 8.21% the speed of light. Now, his best speed feat or statement in the comics would be being stated to be faster than tachyons, which is a hypothetical particle which is faster than the speed of light, which would make him FTL+. So don't disregard that. Lastly, we are going to be going into MKX Homelander, which I think is going to be the strongest version of Homelander ever. Homelander should be relative to Liu Kang in the games, who was able to create a black hole, which was calculated to around large star level, with the pole of it being around large planetary. And this is a massive boost up from the comics and TV show combined even. Quickly going on to speed, he should definitely be around massively hypersonic, since he should be relative to Liu Kang, with Liu Kang being able to dodge and block lightning. And I think we should say he is relative to basically anyone in MKX or Mortal Kombat, as there are cutscenes for Homelander defeating all of them at once, individually of course. So this would mean he would also scale to the likes of Shinnok, which Shinnok was able to rewind time, has time manipulation, etc. So this would just mean that Homelander has low complex multiversal scaling, or about 5-dimensional scaling. Considering that she was not affected when she used her hack's ability to rewind time, goes to show that she is unbound by the effects of time itself, linear time of course. So this would just mean that she is unbound by it and isn't really affected by it, therefore she transcends it. Shinnok was also able to affect all of the realms in Mortal Kombat, which has been verbatim stated to have different flows of time. There are even more multiple realms than just, our realm, like the Mortal Kombat realm, and etc. outside the universe. And since the realms are infinite in size, this would just make the feat about infinite 4D at least. So you can argue infinite 5D.
We haven't lived it, I forget, now I don't need introducing.